Hey guys, this is the XRP Cowboy. Hey, this is Billy. I'm going to say something that's going to make you really happy, and I may say some things that'll make you really sad or mad. So, I know everybody's perspective. It's all about perspective, and sometimes it's not a digital perspective. Well, okay, keep going. Well, and it's not. Ultimately, it's a lot of people are looking like their coins are down 70, 60, 90%, maybe more. And they're like, for a coin to recover from 90%, it's down 90%, but it's got to, counting the coin's current price, it's got to go up like 10 times. So that's 10x, 100%, right? I mean, 1,000%, right? But this is a thing. You get what I'm saying. It's hard to think right now. I've been drinking. And lately with this market, I've been drinking enough to kill a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Little arms. But seriously, how about this perspective? The market cap was over $1 trillion. Let's just call it $2 trillion at its high. And we were really happy at that point. Yeah, it was a little higher than that, but we were really happy at that with our price. So for us to, and it's down, it just went below $1 trillion. So it's down 50%. But you know what? It's only got a 1x to get back to that. So if you look at it from the the whole crypto market cap, that's a lot more doable. I know it's a lot of money, but just saying, it's perspective. Another thing I wanted to talk about is, in the money making group, we're talking a lot about this whole thing with Celsius, and I kind of like the response I gave. I know a lot of people didn't, about the further information, and they'll give it to us when it's important. I really think they're trying to save this, and the dude that created it, some may say he was a genius. Um, you know, if he can't do it, one of my friends said this earlier, no one can. I, I replied, I said, I believe it was harder to create this network than saving it. Never underestimate a genius. But, they've gotten some help. Look, now the conversation is shifting from it's going to zero to they have hope. But my thought was, that's a lot of money that was liquidated since, a week ago. And I just believe generally when that much money is being liquidated, there's a plan. And who would do that? Who has the power? It would just be the whales. And why? What would their plan be to crash it down? I mean, just to short it wouldn't be good enough because they'd have to sell their positions, and it would just be shady, right? But what if they were trying to knock someone out? I know I read somewhere that Michael Saylor, gets liquidated at 20K Bitcoin. I don't know if that's true. They'll probably give him leeway, but is he all leveraged like that? I don't know. But either way, let's just say it's someone like that that's a real jerk, and they want to get him out. Maybe that's how they do it. And maybe they short at the same time, and they use that short money to put back into Celsius. I know this is wild speculation, guys. I have to think, from all these potential, entrances, doorways, right, to get happiness. Sometimes it's hard to be happy in this space, Billy. I know, it is. But, and then they use that to, and maybe there was a lot of speculation about 16K, something, 17K. And ultimately, maybe that was that Celsius dead. Well, Celsius. Maybe that's why they added and they, lowered it. Now I'm hearing it's 15K Bitcoin. You know, and if it gets close to that, they might get some magic powder and, you know, strengthen their holdings. But anyways, it just reminded me of Mr. Wonderful saying, you know, the bottom's in when a big institution goes out. And everyone's like, whoa. I mean, is that MicroStrategies? From a Bitcoin perspective, that's the biggest institution, right? You know, who knows if Mr. Wonderful's right? Kevin or O'Leary, you know, whatever with him, you know. It's funny how he believes in it and he didn't. But my thing is simple. There's much more planned in this world than isn't. Okay? And this seems complex. But you know what? The complexity of manipulating something like this from the money side, the whale side, it was super simple for them to do this. Sorry, I was training today. Cowboy likes to keep in shape. But anyways, we're going to get into my punch list. I think that stuff was pretty important. It's all perspective. You know, just saying, I'm not like biased, bull, cow. Was that that was probably a cow. I've been buying cows and I thought they were bulls. But anyways, the perspective is, you know, none of this is real. I wanted more XRP, and I wasn't going to sell any. I was going to sell part of my bag after the lawsuit, you know. And is there any sense of being upset right now and not seeing the opportunity? Because you guys, you got to remember, and I'm going to hold off on this. This is, I think, important. I don't know why I'm looking through my phone to see, but you got to remember nothing has changed. Okay? The time frame of our moonship taking off is still the same. This Luna, this Celsius, none of this has changed our time frame for the lawsuit. None of it. So who cares? Take the deal. It's not XRP's fault. It's all Bitcoin. You know, bringing the market down. One day that won't happen. There will be a decoupling, and I'm going to tell you when that's going to happen. The exact day. And that day will be when there's regulative clarity. I'm going to get into it, though. Let me get into my punch list. You know, trying to be a little more Billy, get the algorithms up, take the cowboy's filthy mouth out of this. Filthy mouth. I'm always polite when I'm on this station, Billy. I wanted to mention quick update. You know, I actually caught this on one of the guys' channels I watch, Kevin Cage, but I didn't know this. It surprised me. But I guess Casper Labs is now working with, what's that company XLM was working with? Probably, I believe still is, IBM. And IBM is not a dead company. I mean, it's impressive. Don't measure a company on its stock price, okay? But anyways, I just brought him from Detroit, where the weak are killed and then eaten. Why'd I write that down? Okay, this crash. Yeah, the crash. Oh, I started with that. I just wrote down that this crash, or whatever happens with any of this, even Tether, if something were to happen there, it didn't change your future, you know, date of success and happiness, and showing to your friends and family what you did. Maybe you did it for them, your kids. Not being controlled anymore by your job, having the freedom to say I'm not coming in, or just not work. Spend more time with the people that are important and doing the things that are important, you know. But just remember that it's a lot easier to think about the crypto market market cap has to 1x rather than your coin. These coins move super quick when they're moving, you know. Okay, whatever. So created. Oh, so here's the thing. I put the two devils. You know, either this is Ripple is being held back because of Bitcoin. You know, all this money got into Bitcoin, and they wanted to do a public offering. And I know that they can't, but Bitcoin can't. But an ETF would imply that, and there'd be so much liquidity from investors that aren't even considering crypto flooding into it. It would make it untouchable. Whereas if we had regulative clarity at this one moment in time, it could really put Bitcoin at risk of being number one market cap, and that would destroy Bitcoin. It would be worthless after that happened. So maybe it's being held back by the whales. The other side is they're working with the whales to get rid of a lot of these projects. And while they're working with regulators, Ripple, the SEC is delaying this case, keeping them back. And ultimately, it's because the whales do want to remove all these projects and have the money flow into XRP. Not because of that, but just because it's the one, right? They want, you know, and ultimately, if they hold this case up while Ripple's helping them create regulations that will pretty much eliminate everyone else because they won't qualify, or they'll be held up, or even at the very least Ripple's the first one to have regulations. And it's funny because Mr. B had mentioned that today, and you know, I've made channels on it too, so it makes me, if that brilliant minded man, I don't know if you want your name, but said the same thing that I thought. I think I'm doing okay, but that, you know, they would have they'd be the only crypto with clarity. And you know what, I made a video about how Bitcoin was the first time mover, and look at the advantage it has, even though it's got the technology is old and dated, dinosaur compared to what we have now. But if we're the first ones to have regulative clarity, because I'm not so certain Bitcoin does, or ETH, we would have the first movers advantage with that. Sky's the limit. So, and maybe actually that's why maybe they're both right. That's why they want this ETF, so they're holding this up, because they know what it's going to do. And so I don't know. Protects the money, and you protect your technology and your place in the world as number one again. You know, not behind China with this new technology. I mean, it's a win-win then. But let's get on to the punch list. Those are two devils. I think I may have said 10. They are working to... Oh, yeah, I said that. And remember this. Nothing has changed. I wrote that down. I know I said it earlier. The market, nothing's changed with the utility and the technology. I mean, I guess you could say we're questioning some of the technology, but the stuff like XRP that we're invested in, that has real world utility and it's already been proven. All that's changed is you're getting something cheaper that you were going to sell at the same date and time in the future. at a high price. Point is if you said I'm selling at $1,000, and then on July 2024 or whatever date, it's gonna go to $1,000 or it's not, and that has nothing to do with the price right now. So if you believe it is gonna go to 1,000 or significantly higher, right now it's a deal. Buy it. And I don't like to miss out on opportunity. I understand why certain people are waiting for certain events, but I'm more afraid of missing out on the opportunity than saving a few pennies, and I'm diversifying. So I'm not throwing it all in right now. I'm not even throwing a lot in. I'm just throwing it in. And it's interesting, though, well, I don't want to get into that, but nothing's changed. Don't stress. Be happy. Tell you what, if I went to buy like a new set of Chinese stars tomorrow and they were like $360 for the set, and I could get them the day after tomorrow or today for $30 a set, I would be buying sets after set because I know I'm going to use them. I know what their use case. It's for me to have fun throwing them at a tree. I know that's going to happen tomorrow. So the question is, do you know what you own? Do you know what's going to happen tomorrow? Is there a use case? You know, I ask myself this question all the time from Wall Street. And it said that a fool and their money are two strangers that never should have met in the first place. And I always ask myself, when it's down like this, are you the fool? Should we have never met in the first place? And then I say to myself, well, if you ask somebody if they're crazy, if they say yes, they're probably not crazy, right? I mean, if somebody thinks they're crazy, they're probably pretty sane, right? Because I think we all get a little crazy sometimes, don't you think? But the thing is if you think you're a fool investing, wouldn't that kind of mean you're not? It's a fool's a fool. And that's the rule. My dreamers, have a great night. Please like, subscribe. Just trying to get to 100K followers, that's all. Leave a comment too. Tell me what you think or any questions about XRP.